Good day. I'm Dr. M.G. Steyn from the Faculty of Education, University of Pretoria, South Africa. Thank you for the opportunity to address you today. I would like to share some highlights from research conducted by myself and my esteemed colleague, Professor G.D. Kamper from the University of South Africa. The topic of this presentation is Barriers to Learning in Higher Education, what we can learn from a South African case study. In 1994, South Africa got its first democratic government. Subsequently, drastic reforms took place on all terrains. Educational reform attempted to provide a system of education that builds democracy, human dignity, equality, and social justice. Its primary aim was to broaden participation in higher education as to reduce the highly stratified race and class structure of the country. This widened access resulted in an increased enrollment of black students who now account for over 72% of enrollments in higher education and which, because of the social, cultural and economic backgrounds of students, give them very different life experiences. These manifest in unequal levels of readiness for studies in higher education. According to a former rector of one of the major universities in South Africa, the throughput rates of black students are generally 20 percentage points lower than those of white students. This background information begs the question, why are black students at South African universities to a great extent prone to failure? Or in other words, what are the barriers that these students experience when striving for academic success? Since our research aimed at a deep understanding of learning barriers experienced by socially deprived higher education students, we opted for the qualitative research approach. We decided to use the photo voice method, which involves that participants are issued with disposable cameras and prompted to take pictures of people or things which have an intimate connotation with the research topic. In setting up our research, we followed the steps of a photo voice project as compiled by Mitchell, De Lange and Olivier. Applied to our research, the steps were incorporated in 3 sessions as follows. Session 1, the orientation. 10 black students, 4 female and 6 male from non-affluent backgrounds were purposefully selected and requested to participate in the project. Together with the participants, we decided on the following prompt for taking the pictures. Take pictures of the barriers to your learning at university. The students were encouraged to have a free hand and to take pictures of anybody or anything they associated with a barrier to their learning. A week was given for taking the pictures. Cameras were handed in as arranged and the films were developed. The second session involved that the students exhibited their pictures by putting them up, participant by participant, in a lecture room. Each participant then had the opportunity to discuss his or her pictures. During these discussions, we took preliminary field notes. Each participant was asked to pick their one picture which depicted their most serious barrier to learning and to write a narrative of about 300 words about that picture. These narratives were received with a theme picture attached. We subsequently analyzed and interpreted the pictures and narratives. We then assigned topics to every picture. The following slides will be dedicated to these pictures and our thematical analysis thereof. The first picture is named Desk Calendar. It is minimalistic, just depicting a blank desk calendar. In commenting on this picture, the participants stated that at university everything seems to be doubling, except time. The workload doubles compared to high school. This shift is physically and mentally overwhelming and can affect grades badly. One of the students said, and I quote, "If you do not have proper time management skills, you can end up dropping out of university because at some point you start procrastinating your work and ending up always catching up because you were left behind." Do not get me wrong. Yes, in life one needs a balance, and it all lays with knowing how to make time for you by making the most out of the time you have. We chose as topic in this case lacking time management skills. We called the next picture TV set and DVD player. This picture was chosen by one of the female participants. The picture shows a TV set on a table, seemingly in a residence room. Also shown are a DVD player, a number of CD discs, a remote and a calculator. Some snacks can be seen on the adjoining cupboard. The participant commented that most black students come from very disadvantaged backgrounds, with very little prior exposure to electronic media. When placed in a hostel, they get rooms with undressed beds, shelves, cupboards, and a chair. They just have a blanket and their own clothes. This already makes them feel inferior. I quote one of the students. One of the worst things, they will pair you off with a roommate that will bring a TV and a DVD to his or her room that is unfamiliar to you. This will make you feel small and less confident about yourself. Our chosen topic for this submission was feelings of inferiority. This slide is called Discussion, and the picture was chosen by another female participant. This picture shows two female students, one white and one black, in discussion in a lecture room. The participant commented that black students come from communities where they were mostly exposed to only one language, also in their schools. At university, a good proficiency in English is essential. Black students experience problems in following lectures and text materials properly. Perhaps more importantly, they have problems in expressing themselves towards peers and lecturers adequately about their problems. This often leads to being misguided. Friends also often lack proper language skills. Some students still stereotype each other, black versus white, leading to resistance to consult each other. In this case, we decided on inferior language skills as an appropriate topic. The next picture is named Bed in Hostel Room and was the choice of the last female participant. This picture indicates a bed in a hostel room with a colorful duvet and cushions. There is a kettle in the windowsill and a DVD player on a shelf. An apparently expensive reading lamp is on the study table and a variety of pin-ups appear against the wall. In discussing this picture, the participant mentioned that students come from varying backgrounds and are randomly placed in rooms. A disadvantaged student can thus be placed with somebody from an affluent background, with a beautiful bed and with everything that makes life comfortable, like a kettle, dishes, and an iron for washing. As the student says, you start feeling intimidated by your roommate. The room is more comfortable and more like home. Your roommate starts having power on you. Since she has everything in her room, she would make you wash her laundry. In return, you can use her iron. Our chosen topic here is hostel peer pressure.